You're listening to the Geek Awakens, where the talk is geekier than having an opinion about the Oxford comma. And here he is, the host himself. It's Mitch.
You know, when we throw out the ideas or whatever for the geekier than, when this one came up, words were had, and for my part, I'm sorry, guys.
Also joining us is Tabitha.
I'm not sitting next to Mitch anymore.
Why wouldn't you sit next to Mitch anymore?
Because he's wrong.
So the issue in question, of course, is the issue between the two of you on your opinion on the Oxford comma.
Yes, I'm anti-Oxford comma.
Okay.
I love the Oxford comma.
Alrighty then.
If you love the Oxford comma so much, why don't you marry it?
What are we for?
I'm rubber and you're... No, that's wrong, right? Is that right?
Yeah, that was it. You're right. I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you.
What he said.
Also joining us is Matt.
I don't even know how to follow that up.
How do you follow that up?
I don't know that I can.
All
Other
right,
than Mitch and I don't agree on this, and we've had our discussions.
Very well. And last but not least, it's Chuck.
Hey, what's up? Hey, can somebody explain the Oxford comma to me?
Oh.
I mean, I can look it up, but this seems like it would be a lot more fun.
I want to explain the walking comma. Or the Shatner comma.
Oh, I'm familiar with those.
The Oxford comma is when you have a group of three or more, and the Oxford comma is the comma between the second item and then the word and.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, because you need it.
He's like, that's such common sense. Why would you not use that?
It's unnecessary.
You're unnecessary.
And I...
Oh, wow.
No, he is necessary. He's the host. Are you taking over?
No.
Okay. Then
And,
he's necessary.
I'm
ladies
too
and
tired for that.
Wow. It's just going nuts. And I'm the producer, Pickett, here. This episode is brought to you Oxford comma free by H&R Block. As a matter of fact, tonight I'm going to make sure that when I sign the little thing, I will make sure to exclude the Oxford comma. I don't think I've included it yet.
I was like, now I'm going to go back and look at those episodes and how they're listed. I'm curious.
There's been at least one time where he has put in the Oxford comma, and then I went in to edit it, and I took out the Oxford comma.
You're a monster.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's not really that big a deal, Mitch.
You know, I'm actually with Mitch on this one.
You're wrong,
I do
but
feel
okay.
like it's... Well, you can think that all you want. You might be wrong, but okay. No, isn't it like a thing? Like that's like it's up for debate at the moment anyways?
Debate, yeah.
I mean, in the world of journalism, like the Associated Press, the AP style, they say not to use it. I mean, there are times, I will concede, there are times where it is necessary. The vast majority of the time it is not.
They've also decided that you don't need two spaces after a period either, and you clearly do. Two spaces.
Wait, what?
No, that you don't need.
That you do need.
Since when?
I can't stop typing the way I've been typing since I was like, I don't know.
Wait, has anybody else ever put two spaces after a period?
Yeah, always.
I don't know that I have.
I mean,
briefly.
maybe
Always
in
two
high
spaces.
school, but
Not even, for me, not even in high school.
Even when I'm texting, two spaces.
Really?
A waste of a character there.
Gotta have my space.
Wait a minute. I got to look up our message.
So what, your
I
tweets
have
are
to
probably,
know.
what, about 80 characters long because the rest of them are spaces?
Here's the thing, I can't figure out how to use Twitter. So I
all right, we have way too much stuff to talk about to continue
Spend the
talking.
entire
Yeah.
show talking about this?
Although clearly we could just do this. Just saying, guys. So tonight we're going to start off with Matt, who has a story about the new Star Trek revival.
Yeah, let me find my story here. Yeah, they've actually... Okay, so I think we talked about this before, that they're doing a new Star Trek series. I'm still not keen on the fact that it is going to be on CBS's like web. What do you call it?
They're like
Their
streaming
service. Yeah. So you'll get like an episode or something for free, but then you're gonna have to pay for them afterwards. Which come on, it's network TV. It just seems ridiculous. But anyway, they have officially chosen a showrunner for the show. And of course now nothing wants to load for me. Anyway, his name is Brian Fuller, and he has been a writer on both Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So he's going to serve as the showrunner and co-creator of the revival. So he's working with Alex Kurtzman. It's set to premiere in early 2017.
Fuller he's done other stuff too. Like I know him from the old Showtime series Dead Like Me. It only ran for like 2 seasons, but it was fantastic. I loved
that show.
Yeah, originally that was in my article that doesn't want to load right now to give me that info. But
Was that the girl that was the Grim Reaper?
Yes. Did you ever see the movie?
Yes.
I did.
I was not happy with the movie.
You know, I liked it for what it was. And
Sure.
And it bugged me that, and the character name escapes me, but it bugs me that Manny Patinkin wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
But I liked that there was some kind of tying up of the series because it did end on just such an abrupt note. But
kind of makes you wonder how they kind of made a movie for that one, but not some of the other shows that was just cut.
Like another one of his shows was Pushing Daisies, and that.
Oh wow!
And I've never seen
Got a thing with death, huh?
Well,
he's also working on Hannibal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Prepare the red shirts.
That's hilarious.
With a nice bouillabaisse.
But it'll be interesting because he's definitely got a.
I mean, he's got a pedigree, and having worked on Star Trek, gives him a background. So,
what just boggles my mind, and I mean, it makes sense. I understand, it's what it is. But this, the end of that article said how it's going to be the first Star Trek series since the cancellation of Enterprise in 2005. We've gone more than a decade without Star Trek on TV. Even though this isn't technically going to be on TV per se, but
it still seems kind of ridiculous for something that's such a large part of geek culture.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess we've had 2 movies to fill in the gap, but even those are fairly recent.
Yeah. And even then, I mean, technically they're in a different universe anyway, so.
Maybe not.
Maybe. You're right.
I don't know if Spock can fix the thing.
Right.
The thing.
I don't know.
Space-time continuum?
Yes, thank you. My brain just decided to walk out the door right there.
Wow.
So, anyway, did you guys all watch the Super Bowl or any of the commercials?
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but my favorite commercial that wasn't the puppy monkey baby.
That creeped
Oh
me
my,
the hell
yeah,
out.
That
you're
was so
no,
scary.
yeah. It's just Oh God, it's so disturbing.
I caught the tail end of that. I didn't actually see
Literally?
the full.
Ah.
Sorry.
I saw it. I saw most of the commercials, and I was unimpressed.
Yeah, this year was kind of lame.
Yeah.
In terms of commercials for the Super Bowl.
They were all
Not-
sad.
Yeah. I guess 2 of my favorite commercials were from Turkish Airlines. Yeah. Where they built up both Gotham City and Metropolis as travel destinations. And it was just so cool. The first time I saw them, I was still at work. I only had to work 1 shift on Super Bowl Sunday, but it was one of those, like, somebody was talking to me and I was like, no, you need to hold on. Thankfully, it wasn't like a customer or anything. It was just like a fellow employee. But it was like, no, you need to hold on and I need to watch this. And it was so awesome. And it kind of cemented for me how I feel that Ben Affleck is going to be a fantastic Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne, not necessarily Batman as of yet.
Well, and that's yet to be seen.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with that 100%. And I'm still very anxious to see his portrayal of Batman. Very anxious. I still don't have a doubt in my mind about Bruce Wayne. I mean, that's there for me. But that's always the battle with Batman. They're either a great Bruce Wayne and a terrible Batman, a terrible Bruce Wayne and a great Batman. Occasionally, we got a good both sides of the fence. So I mean,
have you seen the new preview the final preview
I have
or
not.
trailer that was released online yesterday or 2 days ago.
I have not.
It definitely gives you a bigger picture of Batman.
Okay. I'll have to check this preview out.
So it's definitely interesting because it leans very heavily on Batman, which is odd because they've always said that this is a Superman sequel. But yeah, I mean, it shows a lot action-wise for Batman, which is I don't know. I'm still out on that one.
Yeah.
Gives me hope.
I am gonna say though that I still don't like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex. I liked him a little bit better. He looked definitely sinister in that ad, but it's still I can't get past the hair.
Mm.
Yeah.
All the evil has to start somewhere.
I know, but
Is he just mad that somebody cuts off his hair?
He's mad that he's ugly.
Oh.
I can't look at Jesse Eisenberg. Like, I can't, like, those people that you just look at and you're like, oh God, what happened to your face? Like, I do that every time I look at him, and I'm like, wow. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm tired and I'm whiny and I hate everything today.
I would imagine that in this film or the next, it will explain how he loses his hair.
I'm pretty sure it'll be explained in this one.
Yeah, I feel like by the end of it, he's definitely going to be bald.
Because I know at least in one of the many stories of Superman, he starts out with hair, and then when he starts wearing the kryptonite ring, he contracts some form of radiation poisoning, and that's when he loses his hair.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's only one iteration, so anything is possible.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, Matt, since I know you've got to dip out a little bit early tonight, let's go ahead and cover the rest of your stories, or as many as we can in the next 17 minutes.
Sounds good for me. Did you want to start anywhere in particular?
Let's start with Danny McBride.
Okay, Danny McBride. This just seems so odd to me. Okay, I really
It's Danny McBride.
Yeah. So, two things that don't seem to go together: Danny McBride and Alien. Apparently, they might go together.
No.
Yeah.
Like on a date?
No. Yeah, the release date. Apparently, he's being looked at to co-star in Alien Covenant.
Well,
You know,
I mean, I know the new horror comedy thing is now a genre, but Alien's not that genre.
Here's the thing, though. Nobody saw Paul Reiser as somebody that should be in an Alien film, and yet he was spectacular. I mean, he played that sniveling little company man that nobody liked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, depending on what they do with him, it
That's
could
true.
go really well.
I mean, yeah, there's always people that get cast in certain roles, and you're like, there's no way this person's going to work out. And you see the movie, and you're like, wow, they're really good. This one just seems so far off to me right now that I just don't know how that's going to play out. But
That is an interesting coupling, so to speak.
it is. I don't know how I feel about it.
yeah. So there's that. Other movie news that I've got. Apparently, Battlestar Galactica once again is in development as a movie at Universal. It's really, 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 really early on. So aside from just having the idea, they don't really have much else. The article I read was like, well, until we hear anything else, you might as well just watch the series again 30 times because that's, how many times you'll watch it before anything actually happens. But that's out there. Let's see.
I didn't watch the newest iteration of Battlestar Galactica. Was Daggett in there anywhere?
It's on my list to watch. I haven't watched any Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
So, sadly. I definitely want to, but...
For me, it's always one of those shows that it seems like a daunting task.
Yeah.
Like, I want to. I'm sure that I would love it, but there's just a lot going on there.
And I feel like you kind of have to start all the way back at the beginning with the original. and
But
then
now,
work
would
your
you
way
have
through
to
it.
watch the tie-ins like Capranica and some of the other stuff?
Probably not initially. I mean, if I were to do it, I'd probably start with the original, and then I'd go through like the newer iteration of it, and then depending on, how I was from there about the series, I might go and do the other side shows. I don't know. What else have I got? Oh, so yeah, I'm just skipping around here. Disney was being sued because there was a guy, two guys, Ben Lai and Ray Lai, were saying that the Iron Man suit in Iron Man 3 was based off of a design from their independent comic, Radix. Yeah, that got tossed out.
Yeah, I read that. I had to laugh because I remember when they were talking about that back when they were shooting the movie, and it's like, well, this is ridiculous. And then I saw the side-by-side comparison. And it's like, there's only so many ways you can draw armor.
Right, as you're doing a cybernetic suit,
exactly
like that. There's only so many ways.
I'm looking at it, and I see I'm with you. I see the
There's
similarities.
Definitely similarities.
But the fact of the matter is still that, if anything, he stole the color from Iron Man on the chest plate there.
Well,
and I know it's red, so it's kind of hard to be like, oh, you stole that color. But I mean, other than that, I mean, there's a few silver tones in Iron Man's suit there.
I mean, Iron Man was Iron Man way before these guys did their independent.
Thank you.
comic.
Right.
Like, regardless of what the suit kind of detail looks like.
Right, and if I'm not mistaken, either one or both of the brothers at one time worked for Marvel. I don't think it's in that article, but I remember this from like I said, when they were shooting the film.
Yeah, back in the movie.
Right, and if I'm not mistaken, one or both of them worked for Marvel back in the day, and it's like, okay, who stole what from whom?
Yeah, could be kind of questionable there. So, yeah, apparently Disney and Marvel were never really worried about the lawsuit.
Well,
and,
especially in that one because it was a state thing, and the Massachusetts Supreme Court Justice or whatever said this has nothing to do with the state. Get out. So, I mean, these guys might try to come after Disney again, but it won't be in Massachusetts.
No. Probably won't be successful.
Probably not.
No, because now there's precedent.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's just always entertains me when, I understand that there are some cases where independent authors or writers or artists have things that are pulled because, some head honcho from somewhere saw, their piece or something and, they tweaked it and pulled some inspiration from it, and occasionally it does happen, but I think more often than not it's like you're just barking up the wrong tree. You're wasting your time, wasting your money, because these guys have got better lawyers than you.
Well, you say that, but it's also there's no such thing as bad publicity. If
True.
anything, it's pulling Radix into the public site.
Yeah, there's definitely now some interest on my end to read that and see how it compares.
Yeah, I mean, you might get one or two issues, and it's like, oh, well, this is crap, or oh, this is great. This is so much more like Exo Man of War as opposed to Iron Man.
Yeah, very true.
What else you got?
I say the last one I'm going to go with because I have one more, but it kind of convoluted. So there is a new game being released for Xbox One and PC. It's actually coming out February 24th, so very soon. What makes me excited about this is that some of the developers on this worked on BioShock and worked on Halo. BioShock, hands down, is probably my favorite video game of all time. The creepy, atmospheric storyline to the whole thing happening underwater. It was just really, really cool. Now they're doing kind of a post-apocalyptic. They're calling it post-societal, but it's basically post-apocalyptic. And I watched the little video online today. It looks a little bland, but with some of the developers and stuff that are attached to it, I don't know. It might be kind of interesting. It's also got that interesting shell shaded. Yeah, I always have trouble saying that. Artist look, so it looks like comics or cartoons, as opposed to more realistic the way most of the video games go now. So,
What I thought was interesting about that is actually the soundtrack for it.
yeah, one of the
Yeah.
guys from Hot Water Music
Chuck Reagan.
is doing the soundtrack, which is always cool because you get guys like that and you usually end up with pretty good scores for video games, which are often underrated anyways. But
My favorite soundtrack is still from Tetris.
Seriously?
Maybe.
I was waiting to see if anybody was going to sing it.
No. The only thing that I have to contribute this week is that they are in the process of going forward with a live action Sonic movie.
I was actually going to bring that up here in a couple of minutes. I can't tell you how excited I am about this.
Really?
So wait, live action?
Exactly.
it's gonna
How
be-
the hell are they going to do that?
It's going to be a live action. CGI mix,
combo?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't. At this point, I don't know how they're going to do it, nor do I really care. Sonic the Hedgehog for me is growing up. He was one of my favorite characters. Oddly enough, Sonic is the character that got me into comic books. I still remember. Oh gosh, I don't even remember how old I was. 8, 9. I don't know. Maybe even a little bit older. But for Christmas one year, my aunt and uncle gave me like a gift certificate to Reader's World. I went there, and for whatever reason, I picked up an issue of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I just fell in love with it. So
What was the Dr. Robotnik? Is that it?
Mm-hmm. Well, you got Robotnik, but then he's also referred to as Dr. Eggman.
Eggman. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember the other name.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's clearly going to be where the human part comes in. But
Kind
Not
of.
the robotic. What were the? It was like a robotic chicken and something else.
what were their names? Well, as like the collective term for them were like badniks.
Badniks.
Yeah,
I guess that's better than no goodniks.
that's true. But you kind of referenced earlier, if for this movie, if they don't get Jaleel White for Sonic,
Right?
they will have done something wrong.
Well, I mean, what else has he done in the past, like, 15 years? I mean, he did Blackout for, what, 1 or 2 seasons
Yeah.
on the Sci-Fi Channel?
Which was,
Terrible.
yeah.
I never
I
even
was trying
watched
to
it
give-
because it looked terrible.
I tried, and it was
He's
bad.
done some... He's actually done a couple of movies for Sci-Fi Channel, but they were terrible, so...
But yeah, I mean, he's been Sonic in so many different iterations of the character.
Sure.
He's kind of like
Mark Hamill doing the Joker.
well, yeah, Mark Hamill doing the Joker. Also, Kevin Conroy does Batman.
Sure.
So it's it's kind of in that vein or whatever.
I guess I never realized that he voiced the character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was not aware of that.
yeah, in at least 2 or 3 of the different cartoon series.
Huh. Okay.
Man, I'm gonna have to bust out some Sonic when I get home.
I'm curious if they're going to have, like, Tails and some of the other characters.
I can definitely see like Tails and Knuckles because they're kind of in
yeah.
in everything.
Who was the slutty one? The girl. You know who I mean, though, right? She had, like, the bat wings.
I know who you're talking about. The name escapes me though.
It's like Starheart or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
I think the last Sonic I played was the one that had tails. So that was what, like Sonic 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
all right, Tabitha, what's going on with Harry Potter?
All the things. Okay, so
All of the things and all of the land.
I'm surprised she didn't just start with OMG.
I'm surprised it didn't start with crying. So, best news of my life yesterday. There's going to be an 8th Harry Potter book, but as J.K. Rowling tweeted today, it's not actually an 8th Harry Potter book, which we knew. It's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Parts 1 and 2, but it's the play that's coming out in London, but it's just the... What's the word I'm looking for? Thank you. The script of the play in book form. So technically, it's still an 8th Harry Potter book.
That's pretty cool.
I'm beyond excited.
I don't get me wrong. Yes, I will probably pick this up and trudge through it as best I can. It's tough when you're looking at a script.
Yes.
I automatically assimilate looking at a script with memorizing lines.
Right.
So it's not as fun for me. That being said, I intend to read this. I really hope that somebody eventually transposes this into an actual book. I don't think it'll ever happen. But I would love that. Probably more than the script. But yes, I will definitely pick, because I'm not driving. Yeah, I'm not going to drive to London anytime soon.
You're really not.
It's never going to happen. I'm not going to fly there anytime soon either.
Take the ferry.
So
you could take the new Titanic that'll be launching next year.
you know about that? Didn't we just have another issue with
That sounds like a bad idea.
boat like last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass on boating altogether. Guy was a little more than experienced and still drove these people into a storm. No, screw that jazz.
No.
So, yeah, no, I'll just wait until maybe the play comes here in 30 years from now.
I really don't think it's going to take that long.
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
either.
It's
I
not
think
gonna-
they'll end up making a movie out of it. I mean, someone somewhere will want all the money and it'll happen, and then someone somewhere will also be upset even more because they'll also have to cast Hermione as a black woman if they make a movie, because they cast Hermione as a black woman in the play.
The only way they'll get away from it is if they get the original actors, which they're probably not.
They won't be able to do that. No, there's no way that
Unless they
any
offer
of
them an obscene amount of money, which is possible.
I don't think even with that, any of them would even sign
I think
up
they've
for
all
it.
moved past it.
Yeah.
They're all done.
Like, I don't want to see what Daniel Radcliffe looks like in 10 years trying to play old Harry Potter. Like, I don't want to see that.
No,
I'm sure I do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just, yeah. That's an awesome story, though.
I'm still really excited, and I'm probably going to cry when I get it, like I cried when the illustrated Harry Potter came out.
Really?
Yeah, I went to the bookstore on my lunch break and picked it up, and my friend that went with me was like, I'm walking away from you because you're having way too many emotions right now. Like, I picked it up, and then I picked up a second copy, and then I, looked around, and I was like, do I need a third copy? And I'm like, no, that's too much. It's too much. So I put it down, then I picked it back up, and I put it down. And then I went home, and I reread the entire book in that night, and then I just silently looked at the pictures for, a week. I have a problem.
So how many copies did you end up buying? Maybe not that day, just in general.
I mean, for myself, I have 2. But I bought them for other people for Christmas. I think I bought 6 total. But only 2 for me.
Wow.
It was Christmas.
You do have a problem.
I know.
Yeah, I'm with Chuck on that one. You should see somebody about that.
So, guys, NASA confirmed that the 5-second rule is a thing.
So let's talk about that. I'm
Yeah.
curious. I read about this just briefly.
Yeah. Well, NASA engineer Mark Rober did it on a video for the new Discovery Science channel show, The Quick and the Curious. He didn't call it a 5-second rule, though. He called it a 30-second moisture and surface rule, because his rationale is that it depends on what's being dropped and where.
Fun fact.
Well, yeah.
I did a short comedy video on this very subject. It was for church, and it was I was the devil. No, I was the angel, and then my buddy was the devil, and dude dropped a Skittle on the ground. And we legitimately had an in-depth, apparently theological discussion about the 5-second rule. Fun fact. I'd like to hear this guy's opinion, though, because his is probably more well-informed than mine.
I'm sorry, but if I drop a slice of bologna in the bathroom onto the floor, I'm not eating it.
Well, yeah, Skittles and bologna are different.
Those are vastly different. Vastly.
If I drop that bologna on the stairs that are carpeted, I'm not eating it.
Well, first of all, look, if I drop bologna, it's done. Really?
If I'm in the kitchen, I can just rinse it off.
You can rinse it off in the bathroom
Nope,
too.
nope. There's all that ass matter floating around in the air that I'm not. No.
It's okay to end up on your toothbrush, but not your bologna.
You know what? I keep my toothbrush in the shower.
So here's here's my question. While walking through your kitchen, do you ever wear shoes?
Not usually.
Really? It happens here a lot. No, if I drop bologna, it's over. It's gone.
See, usually when I'm home, I'm not wearing clothes.
Well, there's that.
So that's just me though.
I think you've offended Matt to the point where he's leaving.
Bye, Matt.
He is legitimately leaving. He is taking off.
Sorry, guys.
Well, way to go, Chuck. No.
Lily livered fool. Baloney livered. There you go.
As long as it wasn't dropped on the floor. What? Tell us about this.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that you wouldn't eat bologna if it fell on the carpet, because this guy says that the best place to drop food is on a rug, because of the woven surface. The floor to food contact is reduced.
I have 5 animals. That's a whole lot of fur on that bologna.
Amen.
Ugh.
No.
I moved into a new house for me, and the former occupant had a dog, so no.
I vacuum like 4 times a week. I'm still not eating bologna off my carpet. It's just not happening.
I barely eat stuff that falls on the couch.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm the same way. It's like
The only exception to dropping something on cloth is if it falls on my shirt. It is fair game.
That's different.
Or like on my bed. I've done that before.
I don't eat in bed.
I mean, I get real lazy sometimes.
it's rare for me, but yeah,
I mean, I've done it, but usually it's something like chips.
Oh, no, you have like a real bad day. You go get some Chinese on your way home and you plop down in your bed. You just eat your Chinese food in your middle of your bed.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I've never done that.
See, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So you're eating your Chinese food in bed.
Yes.
When you read the fortune cookie, do you then add in bed to the end of the fortune?
Yeah,
As well you should.
I do that.
No,
right
actually,
now.
usually
you
say right
say
here.
right here, yeah.
Right here.
Right here.
You will be a great influence to many people. Right here.
Nicely played, sir.
Next time I have Chinese food in bed, I'll take a picture of my fortune cookie and I'll let you guys know what it is.
Yes.
That's amazing. Gosh, right here.
All right, Tabitha. You had another story about Morocco and what they got going on.
Okay, so I was driving to my friend's house for the Super Bowl. Well, I wasn't driving, my husband was driving. And I got really excited about this story. And I start reading it to my husband, who doesn't care about this kind of stuff at all. He was like, so it's like a solar plant. I don't care. It's not a solar plant. Morocco has basically figured out how to energize the world, but with just a little bitty patch right now. So it's near the town of something I can't pronounce in central Morocco. And the plant uses solar thermal technology rather than photovoltaic solar panels. So like the solar panels that people put on their houses are just flat and they completely reflect the sun. Solar thermal technology uses mirrors that track the movement of the sun that concentrate the solar rays to heat oil in pipes. And the oil in the pipes creates steam, and the steam creates the energy.
I saw that on a James Bond movie once. That was wicked stuff, man.
And then they can use the extra oil that's left over to melt salt, so it constantly is going. So it's not just when the sun is like out. Even when it's dark, it just keeps going because it's either heating the oil with the sun or it's melting the salt at nighttime with the heated oil. So it's constantly working. It's constantly making energy. They only turned on one section of it called NOR 1, and it's expected to provide enough energy for hundreds of thousands of homes and can produce electricity for up to 3 hours after the sun has set. After the sun has set, their normal electricity kicks back on. but that's just with one of their little sections, and this thing is absolutely huge. It can run 20 hours a day and will cover a square kilometers area, of 24.3.
That's ridiculous.
So exciting.
That is it is cool. I'm all about alternative ways to make energy.
Well, like if they have anything left over, like after they energize Morocco, they're going to like patch it over to the UK to help the UK and get a fee from that. Like they're going to make money off of it by doing nothing, and they've been funded for years. So I'm all about alternative sources of energy, but also like my inner like science nerd is just really excited about that.
As it should be.
Yes.
How large is the field, the entire
whole thing?
Yeah, because like, isn't Morocco the size of Central Park? I mean, it's a tiny country.
Let me see. The first section of the plant was turned on. When completed, the site will cover an area larger than the country's capital, but I don't know how big their capital is. So I don't know what my frame of reference is there, but
Okay.
larger than it's deemed the world's largest solar plant, but I don't know what the square footage or like the radius is of the.
Okay. Interesting. Very cool.
So, it was announced. Well, not really announced because this is really just kind of just a rumor or in talks or whatever. But the word is that Hasbro and Mattel are in talks to merge.
Wow.
If they were to do this, they would be the world's single biggest toy manufacturer. Of course, the U.S. government might have a little bit to say about it because they would make up 1/4 of the country's toy market.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I mean, they're probably really worried about monopoly.
Sure. I thought that was Parker Brothers.
Thank you. I gave you the
Did you
pitch
set
and you
that
just
up for me?
hit it out of the park.
All right. No, and Mattel for the longest time, I'm sure they still are, but they are the #1 clothing manufacturer in the world.
Really?
Barbie.
How
Yep.
about that?
It's a valid
it's
point.
either the U.S. or the world, but it's the largest clothing manufacturer of one of those two things.
Wow.
Well, it's pretty easy when everybody wears the same size.
Well, not anymore.
most.
Not anymore, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy about that. I'm anxious to see the actual figures, as opposed to just artist renditions or prototypes. I want to see.
Are we getting a plus size Barbie?
We're
Yes.
getting a variety
Yeah.
of Barbies.
We're getting a short Barbie, a tall. Well, Barbie's already kind of tall.
Tall. She's like
Yeah.
over 6 feet.
Yeah. But yeah, getting a plus size Barbie, getting one-legged Barbie. I don't know.
Is her name going to be Eileen?
And she works at IHOP.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, see now I can't even go there because that leans to another joke,
No,
and I'm not going to go there.
I
And you know where I'm going.
think I do.
Okay,
No.
yeah, exactly.
So this isn't the first time that Mattel and Hasbro's tried or started to come together or whatever. 20 years ago, which that would have been 1996. It really still bugs me that the 90s were 20 years ago. Mattel tried to buy...
Shut up. I graduated in the 80s.
Mattel tried to buy Hasbro for $5.2 billion. Clearly, it was unsuccessful. Mattel said that cited what they called a scorched earth campaign on Hasbro's part to prevent the deal from happening. So,
Little sour grapes action there.
let's see. Kind of a quicker story that Matt provided, but I saw this too. For Batman's 50th issue, there's a variant cover that's going to be drawn by American Idol alum William Hung. No, wait, I'm sorry, not William Hung. Chris Daughtry.
She-Bang!
Did you guys ever catch his album?
I know that it exists, but I don't think I ever listened
It
to
was
it.
rough.
He should do duets with Gomez. Selena Gomez.
But yeah. So for Batman 50, and I guess Chris Daughtry has kind of become a comic book artist in his own right. He's worked with. He got his start by inking over pencils from Jim Lee. Lee also did some artwork for Daughtry's album "Leave This Town."
Man, Jim
So.
Lee, that's like one of the icons of like coolness.
And so is Daughtry.
Well, depending on your tastes, but yeah. But I mean, Jim Lee, he's done, so many. I mean, he's worked for all the big names. He's covered all the big names. And he's got a very distinct style.
And I have no idea who he is.
I mean,
He's an artist.
Thank you.
that right there.
I had no idea. Thanks for that. Okay.
You're welcome.
Moving on.
So, a little bit more comics news. It was announced at New York Comic Con 2015. Chip Zdarsky and Erica Henderson, who do the Jughead comic book, I not really announced or whatever, but said that Jughead is asexual. Well, that was revealed in the newest issue that came out yesterday.
What does that mean, asexual? He just masturbates a lot?
Seriously?
No, I don't.
Tabitha, you want to field this one?
Sure. Why not? Okay. Asexual means that you're not attracted to either men or women or anything in between. You are
Your own individual.
asexual and you don't find either sex appealing.
Apparently
Or-
the male equivalent to the crazy cat lady.
Well, I mean, females can be asexual too.
Yeah.
So they're not turned on by anything?
No.
No.
Sucks.
Nothing?
No.
Not even like spoons or balloons or nothing?
Spoons?
You
Well,
know what?
I mean,
Of
Jughead.
of all the things.
Jughead
It's
does like to eat.
That's true.
Ooh. He should
Maybe
get
that's
toge-
his thing.
He should get
The
together with
sandwich
Wimpy.
But
Is there a name for that?
Being attracted to food?
Sexually attracted to food?
Yes. Hold on. I'm gonna.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, while she's looking that up, I'm going to read this quote from Zdarsky. He says that my view of Jughead is over the 75 years, there have been sporadic moments where he's dabbled in the ladies, but historically he's been portrayed as asexual. They just didn't have a label for it, so they called him a woman hater. But he's not a misogynist. He just watches his cohorts lose their minds with hormones.
So, if you type in on Google sexual attraction to food is literally the first thing that comes up.
That's hilarious.
It's called paraphilius.
Paraphilius. That sounds so dirty. I don't know. It just sounds wrong.
And see, I was thinking, I would make a joke about Filius a pear, but I'm going to let that go.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah. Zdarsky went on to say that he thinks that something like asexuality is underrepresented, and since we have a character who was asexual before people had a word for it, he's going to continue to write him that way. Which I think is cool.
Yeah, no need to change a working... if it's not broke,
Yeah.
don't fix it.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I'm not super familiar with the Archie universe. I have a working knowledge, but I never really thought about Jughead that way. But reading this article totally makes sense.
I haven't put much thought into it at all, to be completely honest.
Because everyone else was always in a relationship. Everyone.
Yeah.
If they weren't, they were trying to get into
Right.
a relationship. Even Moose. Moose had his girlfriend. Except Mrs. Grundy. She didn't. She didn't have anybody, did she?
Well, Mrs. Grundy's relationships they really couldn't print in the pages of Archie.
Oh, wow.
Zing.
Hanging out at Pop's Soda Shop after hours.
Moving on.
Yeah, this is it's
We're
gonna
going
get bad real
downhill
quick.
fast.
Yeah. So okay, so we got 2 stories left. The first one, Twitter confirmed that their timelines are going to start having an algorithmic
Algorithmic?
component. Thank you.
Sure.
Basically, when this starts up, and when it starts up, it's going to be it'll be opt-in at first, but the tweets will take up the first few messages that people see when they start up Twitter, and then when on mobile, when you pull to refresh, it will bring up the actual reverse, their standard reverse chronological order. So
Maybe that's why I can't figure out Twitter. I didn't know it was in reverse.
yeah, I mean,
I don't
it's,
Twitter.
it's always the most recent.
So Facebook. We're talking about order of things pulling up. That's one thing I don't like about Facebook. I can't go on to Facebook sometimes and I'll be scrolling down, and suddenly I'm scrolling down to something I've already seen. And it happens quite frequently. It's actually quite annoying. I do miss the day of knowing where I left off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a thing anymore. So I feel like I'm missing stuff all the time.
The thing with Facebook is their most recent timeline is still available. You just have to search for it. And even then, it's something that you can't make that your default. Or if you can make it your default on Facebook, I don't know how to do it.
I've done it, and it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. I don't like it.
I don't tweet, so I'm good.
There will be an option to turn off their not sponsored tweets, but their, I guess what they feel like you're going to find the most
They're
important
suggested?
or suggested. Thank you. Which I guess I'm kind of torn on it because I'm the type of person I'll pull up my Twitter maybe once a day for a few days in a row, and then I won't touch it for a couple of weeks. So I guess it's kind of cool to pull that up and then see, okay, cool, well that's something that I would find useful, and then then now we're back into our normal. But at the same time, I feel like part of Twitter's draw or whatever is just that it is the
spontaneity.
Exactly.
If you're not there, you miss it.
I just love how you're finishing my sentences tonight, Chuck.
Hey, you know what? I'm here for you, buddy.
So, the article that I read about this, I don't think that there was any kind of date for the new addition to Twitter.
Launch?
But yeah. So, all right. It's time for our last story. Now, before we talk about this last story, I kind of want to throw out a little disclaimer. I think that I speak for everybody when I say
Oxford comma's a plus.
No. But I think I do speak for everyone on here when I say you do you. If you want to be an asexual teenager who eats everything in sight, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
What about a mid-40 something like that?
Hey, you do you.
Apparently I will.
But no, if you want to use the Oxford comma, I may not agree with you, but I can still be friends with you.
True story.
And even this woman that Tabitha's about to talk about, I mean, that's what she does. That's awesome. That's cool. There's a line. I'm gonna talk about the line in a minute. Tell me about this woman.
I don't know if I want to be her friend, though. Okay.
She would love you. She'd just call you Tabby.
Oh, God.
Meow.
Okay, so we were talking, unfortunately, about furries last week.
Cat fight.
And I happened to stumble across something. And I watched the video, and this woman is absolutely terrifying. Okay, so she lives in Norway, and she thinks that she was born in the wrong species, and she has now made the decision to live her life as a cat. She's 20 years old. She realized that she was a cat about 4 years ago when she was 16, because she started barking or meowing and hissing at dogs that would bark at her. She has a heightened sense of hearing. She hunts mice at night, and that she communicates almost exclusively by meowing. She is constantly seen wearing fake ears and a fake tail. She says she's seen psychologists, and they have found out what is wrong with her. And under her birth, as she says, there was a genetic defect. I don't buy it for, like, even 2 seconds.
Zeus is hard at work once again.
I mean, it's okay to be a cat person. I have 3 cats, but I don't, like, get down on the floor and, like
this woman
meow
was
at them.
like this woman was in the video when she got I don't know if you two saw the video.
I
have
watched it.
not
I
seen
had
the
to
video.
see it.
All right. But yes, at one point she's on all fours, like walking like a cat, and she goes up to the door and she starts patting at it or whatever to get somebody to let her out. And I'm just thinking, get on your own 2 legs and open the door. Like,
she picked,
Yeah,
like, the laziest animal to, like...
yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be honest for a second. If I had to be an animal, it'd be a cat in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
All
well,
day.
absolutely.
I am grateful that she doesn't truly live as a cat, whereas she would be nude, because she was not attractive.
She was Norway attractive.
In Norway, possible. Now, okay, my question is, her boyfriend, Svein, sometimes pronounced Sven, but she pronounced it Svein. Okay, he is a human, and he will occasionally meow and act like a cat with her.
Yeah, because one of his personalities
is a cat.
Yeah.
So my question is, does he commit bestiality? Or is that just another personality that he taps into, so to speak?
I don't know. It's a good question. What bugs me is this literally crazy cat woman has found someone in her life, and I'm still single.
Lower your standards, Mitch.
Clearly. You can find me at the dog park after the show tonight.
You know what? I'm just going to start calling you Jughead.
Jughead. That is terrible.
But seriously, okay, what gets me, like, she was not born the wrong species.
No, she wasn't.
Unless her parents are cats and somehow her mother cat like popped out a human. She was not
Which
born.
would be disturbing.
Hashtag only in Norway.
Right?
Clearly.
She's a mess. She really is. And she thinks she can see better at night. Okay, so can a lot of people.
Right.
High five. Congratulations.
She has yet to catch a mouse.
Right.
Right. She's a pretty
oh,
awful
she's a
cat.
terrible cat.
Awful
I
cat.
assumed that she had caught someone. You said she
No,
hunts
no.
mice.
She
No.
hunts.
You mean she only hunts?
Right, she hunts. She's gotten close a couple of times.
She's like stalking them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing. It's fine.
No,
She
it's
just
not.
needs to be 500 feet back.
She's terrible.
But yeah, she can also, apparently hear better than humans. She can hear suitcases rolling on the ground, keys clinking in pockets, people with ice under their shoes. That is just being observant.
No, see, if I read that, and it's like, well, ice, that doesn't make any sense. But when you actually, like, read more into it, it's ice crampons, which are the little spikes that they put on their shoes to be able to grip the ice. Well, hell yeah, if you're wearing track spikes in the mall, everybody's going to hear you.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, exactly. It is paying attention. Hello.
Yeah. About the only thing that I'd give her credit for is the keys clanking in pockets. I mean, yeah.
You know what? I don't even give her that, because when I was in Mexico, those little street urchins could hear coins a block away.
It's a true story.
And they would come
Maybe
running.
they were cats.
They were not
Wow.
cats. They were not cats. But no, and I tell you, the one of the things that bothered me about her was she wasn't completely homely. I'm not saying that, but just the odd piercings.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've seen the crazy cat, the crazy tiger guy. If you've
Oh, with
He's got like the tattoos and the silicone implants, and he's got these little implants in his face where he can like click in his whiskers. If she did that, I would have more respect for her. Whereas she's just got 2 on top and 2 on bottom. It's like, what are you, a catfish? You got the little barbels there?
Oh God.
Like she doesn't use a litter box. She doesn't pee outside.
That we know of.
Right.
Like, you can either be a cat or you cannot be a cat.
Right.
Go big or
Yeah.
go home. Like, there's
Well-
no in the middle.
Well, the biggest thing is she was being interviewed by by an actual human being, and she was speaking like a human being.
Right.
So that right there.
Well,
tells
for
you not a
16
cat.
years, she was a human.
Okay, you're right. So there still is that little bit in her. But what I loved in the video was when the reporter who interviewed her asked her, well, how do you say, let's go in your cat language? And the meow, meow, meow. Well, yeah, the girl, she's just kind of like looking there for a second, and then she's like, meow, meow, meow. And then the reporter asks her boyfriend, is that what she said? And the boyfriend was like, or no, she asked, did you understand that? And the boyfriend was like, yeah. No, you didn't. And that's not what you said.
Right.
See, what they should have done is written down something for her to say, and then have her say it in Catanese, if you will.
Oh.
Yeah, that's terrible. Sorry. And then ask him what she said. That's the only way to test that theory. And I understood that. Okay, do you understand this?
Yeah.
I would, and I made this joke the other night, and I got hissed at mentally, but she needs a shot of vitamin 22.
I'm scared to ask what that is.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
There's also vitamin 45, vitamin 357.
I still got nothing.
Vitamin 44 Magnum.
Oh.
Vitamin 22.
Fair enough. At any point you could have just said, Chuck will explain it after the show, and I would have been like, okay.
But he let it go.
I figured it's a far cry from the conversation we had last week.
Right?
That's true.
Speaking of which, I believe it's that time.
Oh, boy.
Are we done? We cover everything?
Yeah, I mean there were a couple other stories that Matt had, but I'm okay with ending here.
Okay. Cool. Well, it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I did view this video that you spoke of without the sound, and yeah,
what are the girls from Petticoat Junction doing on there? Anyway,
Oh, you know what?
tell me.
Real quick, not really worth a story, but I did want to point out there is a video Betty White reviewed Deadpool. She loved it, and it was
Awesome.
It was a curse-laden video. It was so fantastic. Betty White rated Deadpool 4 Golden Girls.
wow.
I'm assuming that's the highest rating possible.
There were only 4, so
Right. Well, there was that like the gay
There were only
housekeeper or whatever in the pilot episode.
there were only 4.
Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah, there was.
I thought you were talking about George Clooney for like 2 seconds, and I was like, he wasn't a gay housekeeper, was he? I'm real confused.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know more than I probably should about the Golden Girls.
Speaking of Deadpool, we might have another team up with the movie show, right?
Oh yes.
All right. So tomorrow night we're talking about checking out Deadpool, and then coming back to the studio tomorrow night and doing a review on it, which I may or may not be extremely excited about. So I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I am too.
I can tell.
I'm so excited and I just can't hide it.
Are you about to lose control?
I think I like it.
Please,
Oh,
please,
jeez.
try harder.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have. Special thanks go to H&R Block. They are a sponsor of tonight's show. and some of the terrible jokes go to Mitch.
I take all credit for those.
So if you have any complaints, be sure you earmark those for Mitch.
Yes. Questions, comments, concerns, address them on our Facebook page. And don't forget to check out all the other exciting content on 217radio.com. And we will see you next week. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.